Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2005 here in TEW 2020, but of course, this is not WCW, is it? No, for anybody who's sort of new to the channel or who, isn't used to this, traditionally what I do with the WWE or WWF still, in this save is, I make sure, basically I take over for WrestleMania and SummerSlam, well, the week before about, and then the actual pay-per-view, basically to make any adjustments to like developmental, fix any gimmicks, and basically like do a little bit of shifting, just honestly so people, well, a lot happens with these games, with the AI is things that very stale, nothing ever changes, like new, like the top of the card is always the top of the card, just because sometimes like people don't quite age as they should, people don't fall off, there's not enough like changes as they're in real life, like, because, say what you will, even about the modern WWE, there are changes in the top of the card, people go away, people rise up, etc, etc. And sometimes the game like does this and sometimes it doesn't do this, so you just sort of help along, plus it's fun to sort of like remind like people what's going on in the other major company. But this is SummerSlam, live from the beautiful MCI Center in Washington, D.C., as it was in real life, in front of a sold-out crowd of 23,000 people, which they did not get in real life, even though it was pretty close. And we start out with our opening video, set to see the remedy as it was in real life, and basically going over the top shows of the top matches of the card, which include Edge versus Chris Jericho, Randy Orton versus The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar versus Leviathan, and Shawn Michaels versus Triple H for the WWF Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, it goes over, all the big deals as far as that goes, and it gets an 81. So yeah, there we go. And then we go on to our opening match. And that opening match is Brock Lesnar versus Leviathan. Leviathan is, of course, actually Dave Bautista, but he's been with the Gallows of Bradshaw, as he's brought up, which is our sort of our heel stable of Vamprio, Kane, and him, managed by Ariel Belmont. But you do not see him; those people there know. What you see beside Leviathan right now is Jim Cornette, because way back at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar, Jim Cornette basically berated Brock Lesnar a lot by Heenan, berating Andre the Giant after he lost at WrestleMania, and Brock Lesnar F5'd him to the sun, and since then, at least in our canon, people have, Cornette has been sending people after Lesnar, Lesnar has been killing him because he's Brock, and now Cornette made a deal with the devil in the form of Ariel Belmont to set up a big match of Brock Lesnar versus Leviathan here at SummerSlam. And this match is not pretty. It's two guys just clobbering the hell out of each other. It's solid. Both guys do very well. Leviathan with some power stuff. Brock Lesnar being Brock Lesnar. This isn't quite all suplex Brock Lesnar, but like there's some power slams, there's some suplexes, there's some big lariats, there's some submission attempts. But eventually, what happens here is Leviathan, goes for the big, big power bomb. Lesnar powers out of it. A few big moves. Cornette tries to get involved. Lesnar nails him. Leviathan goes for attack. Lesnar's ready for him. Picks him up. F5 right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar gets a big win here at SummerSlam. So yeah, good match. Goes a little over 10 minutes because, these guys aren't about to have a 20-minute classic. Gets an 82 overall. Brock gets a 95. Leviathan gets a 79. This match got the crowd buzzing. Lack of psychology on display, even in 10 minutes, because, look at these guys. These are two guys clubbering. And the aftermath of this, well, first of all, we'll just go to the actual celebration. There we go. The aftermath of this is going to be basically Leviathan is actually going to leave the Gallows of Bradshaw, and he's going to side with Cornette. They're still heels. Cornette's still Cornette, but basically this is the way we're going to sort of shift Leviathan into being Dave Bautista. And we'll see how that goes on his own. But this gets a 71, and was moving forward here at SummerSlam. Next up is our big tag title match. As is tradition, it's a wacky multi-man tag, and the contestants are the current tag team champions, Test and Albert, alongside Debra, who are members of the new improved Team Angle, along with Kurt Angle and current Intercontinental champion Billy Gunn. And they're accompanied by Debra, and their challengers tonight are first the team from DX 2.0, which I'll go over more in the main event, of Skyfall, Caleb Lyon, and CM Punk, and the team of Carnage Carnival, aka Homicide, and Leonardo Michael Murray, aka Spanky or Brian Kendrick, Street to the Suburbs. So basically here is Street to the Suburbs had random good chemistry on the I think they had Brenham, or they were really like booked strongly together. Yeah, they're really booked strongly together by the AI in Developmental. So I, made up in canon, they teamed up well, and they got this wacky gimmick of like basically, a suburban guy in the form of, Spanky and a street thug named Carl, and they, got together in OVW and started teaming up and figured out they started working well together. And of course, DX 2.0, again, it's CM Punk, it's Skyfall Lyon, aka the former Mayor of Paris. And, basically, it's and TNA are your, defending tag champions, and it's your typical wacky three-way setup. I wouldn't say the two other teams were in a match. TNA came in and attacked both. Triple threat match was set up, and this is sort of what you expect from this match. Like, it's TNA throwing people, it's Test Albert hitting big power moves, CM Punk doing CM Punk stuff, Skyfall Kyle doing some high flying, as is like Michael Murray. I'm sure we get a fun little indie sequence from them. Homicide doing some brawling and attempting to hit some big suplexes and layers of his own. Eventually things break down. I forgot this is set to be a elimination match. It's not a triple threat match as a tradition. But what we do get as part of this match is just incredible sliding in, as he's also part of DX 2.0, hitting Carnage Carnival with the sort of his modified tombstone. But there's still too much chaos, and CM Punk is unable to get the pinfall. Things eventually break down more, and Carnage Carnival is able to get the pinfall over Skyfall K1 with sort of his modified version of his 187, obviously named something different, and Street Suburbs win WWF World Tag Team Champions in a little over 13 minutes here at SummerSlam, and the match itself gets us a 76. Overall, CM Punk got a 69, nice. Skyfall K1 gets a 77. Michael Murray gets a 70. Carnage Carnival gets a 58. Albert gets a 78. Test gets a 68. And yeah, big win for the Streets of Suburbs. And we'll see if the game actually lets them keep the titles, or like with what happened with when I gave Christian York and Lance Gay the titles at WrestleMania, they lose the titles back to the pay-per-view. But yeah, big win here as they celebrate with the titles, which gets us a 64. Next up, we have our Intercontinental title match, but first we get what's been happening for the past few months here in the WWF, as Billy Gunn comes out with Debra, and he basically takes the mic and says, "It's time to induct my opponent into the Gunn Club." No, as he says, it's time for induct another member of the Gunn Club, and Devon DuBois. That is you tonight. And then he does his usual stick. Basically, there's sort of like a goofy pre-match thing, sort of getting over with the crowd and getting him over as a heel. As this pre-match, Jillian gets a 78, and Billy Gunn looks good, as he's actually been consistently pushed here, so he's actually decently over. Then it's time for the actual match, as Devon DuBois, who is the former Reverend Devon Dudley, who basically first changed into sort of like, not quite the Reverend Devon gimmick, but sort of like a more, I don't know. Well, he was part of a team with Shelton Benjamin as Renaissance Reborn. So sort of more like a, I don't say like, more like, I mean, he's in a suit. He's like, I don't say like more respectable because that's sort of silly, but, sort of like just more like, not quite preacher, but like, just, getting up from the streets and being, a strong babyface Devon DuBois. And he's facing on Billy Gunn, who's been Intercontinental Champion for a while. And of course, was all involved. Honestly, it's been weird because it's basically like with JBL, Steven Richards, Christian, Billy Gunn, all sort of like getting random title matches for like the past year and a half. And now Billy Gunn has been a consistent champion with Debra by his side. They're a good pairing. And it's a fun little back and forth match here. Like nothing too fancy. But like they, the angle is, Gunn's angle is strong. He's been a good champion. He has a legendary gimmick. And it's a hot crowd. So even though it's not the best match, basically after about 9 minutes, there's some, distraction by Debra, doing Debra things. Gunn eventually hits the gunslinger and picks up a pinfall victory here at SummerSlam to retain the Intercontinental title in a little under 9 minutes. Like I said, nothing fancy here. Gets an 81 overall. Billy Gunn gets a 71. Devon DuBois gets a 66. And that's about it. Like nothing fancy, just sort of a straightforward title defense here. What happened as far as booking is I sort of ran out of people that I wanted to give a title shot. Like, there are people not on the show, but who I think wouldn't be, like, knocked out. Either they've been part of the IC title scene too much, like Christian, or I didn't want to knock them down that badly, or they weren't quite ready. So sort of like, he was this is sort of a very filler title defense that people in post, like, sort of retro recaps would, like, act like it isn't very special. The post-match, Billy Gunn celebrates, which gets a 72. Next up is our WWF Women's title match, as it's Amber James, former Amber O'Neil, former, what did I have her, what was her name in WCW? Oh, no, it was just Amber O'Neil because she was right, okay, anyway, she came in, and she's been a strong heel, and won the WWF Women's title off of, I believe, Jamie Keys a couple months ago, and now she's facing Jackie Gayda. Jackie Gayda's been very, the games book are insanely strong. She has, like, 40 wins, only, like, 1 loss, and I think I actually booked her that loss in, like, the Wacky Diva six-woman at WrestleMania. So she's just insanely strong here. Now, I'm not saying they're basically pushing her to replace Trish Stratus, but they're probably pushing her to replace Trish Stratus. And this is, like, I don't want to say a dominant performance, but, like, Amber James doesn't really seem to have a chance. As Jackie Gayda just is powerful. She's the type that Vince would love, and she just sort of throws Amber James around. Amber James gets a little bit of a heel shtick in to try to get the win back. But eventually, James gets a big win here. Hits her finish or whatever that would be, since I don't even see it, and wins the WWF Women's title in a little under 9 minutes. It's a little, like, it's not, like, we're not quite, like, early 2000s or, like, early 2010s levels of Diva match, but, this is not, like, what you call the most impressive match, but it's still, like, not bad, as it does get a 65, which is not as we're good doing WCW, but, like, not terrible. Jackie Gayda gets a 56, Amber James gets a 64, so, our developmental cherry worked, but she's, like, being booked insanely strong for the game, so I figured I give her the win here. This gets a 65, but then something interesting happens. Sorry, I don't think that, okay, I don't know what happened there with the fight, so I'm not sure what you guys heard there, because I didn't realize I unpaused it, so this might be a replay. Basically, Jackie Gayda is celebrating, lights go out, woman comes down from the ceiling, gets repelled down, attacks Jackie Gayda, leaves her lying. It's obviously a woman, but she's in a mask. It'll be revealed, hopefully, on Raw, that this is the Dark Angel, Sarah Stock, Sarita in TNA, worked in Mexico for a lot, was one of those mid-2000s indie women that never got shot on the main roster, eventually worked as a coach alongside Sarah Del Rey, and now is working for AEW as producer, I think. But, she gets a shot here, and she attacks the new women's champion, Jackie Gayda. Obviously, the game probably won't follow this up since he's not that over, and Amber Little Angel Obscura as opposed to Dark Angel, just because, and also because of WWE copywriting stuff. But we'll see if this actually works. This only gets a 46, but fun stuff. And then we have a very goofy angle, which does have a point though, as we have some of the actors from the upcoming movie, the 40-year-old version. We have Steve Carell, Kevin Hart, other random people. Eventually, Big Show is there, and, they're basically, making tall jokes about him. He has weather up there, asking why he's not on SummerSlam. Eventually, Big Show gets upset and, screams, "I'm a damn giant," and he accidentally punches out one of the cast. Let's say Kevin Hart, because, he's not quite Kevin Hart yet, and he'd probably take the bump. And this is a way to turn Big Show heel. So, there we go. Now he's a giant with a KO punch. So that gets an 83. His gimmick is also getting stale, but, that's not my problem. But yeah, just a fun little segment. Big Show did not have a match on the show, but he still gets to turn heel, as is tradition with Big Show in the WWF. And then we get a video recap focusing on the Top Shelf feud. So if you guys remember, Top Shelf, which was a top heel group of Scott Hall, Scott Steiner, and TDP, aka former WCW guys. Eventually, what happens is Will and Regal also turns heel and joins them, but eventually both Scott Hall and Scott Steiner gets turfed out of the group. They team up, they go after Will and Regal and DDP, who have brought two women, Amber James and Chrissy Cummings, into it, and now it's a battle for the war. And now it's a war for the future of Top Shelf. This little, video gets a 71 as we move on to the actual match. Yeah, sometimes this game books stuff to actually set up matches, even though they don't do it, but it's fun. So yeah, we got DDP and Regal Two close friends from WCW, now sort of like Top Shelf, now Scott Hall and Steiner, who were former members of the NWO, creators of Top Shelf, and now teaming together. And this is a fun little match. It only goes 10 minutes, mainly because Scott Hall, even at that, I tried 12 minutes, and the road agent was like, do you really want to do that? So has his time quite hard. Honestly, and so is DDP, because, they're both very old, unfortunately, and they've pulled a time decline. So this is a very sticky match. This is everybody, sort of fighting, doing sort of charismatic spots more than an actual match to pop the crowd. And eventually what happens here is Regal cheats and gets a pinfall victory over Scott Hall, as Top Shelf gets the win here over Hall and Steiner. Sort of just a heel win, because the heels needed a win, and Scott Hall and Steiner aren't going to be a permanent team, and they can sort of drift around now as part of the middle of the card. We'll see if the game resigns them, maybe not. But, not a terrible match, as it gets an 82. 10-14, when Regal wins, cheats, gets one over Scott Hall. Scott Steiner gets a 75, Scott Hall gets a 54, DDP gets a 56, and Regal gets an 81. Everybody but Regal was off his game, which honestly, for these guys in 2005 makes sense. DDP, Scott Steiner, and Scott Hall were not working hard, regardless of where they were, really. And post-match, of course, Chrissy Cummings comes out to celebrate with Top Shelf as the crowd boos, and, now just put over Regal and DDP as a possible Top Shelf force here in the WWF. Then we have a video for our next match, which is Edge versus Chris Jericho. And basically, this is Chris Jericho, and this is a version of Chris Jericho that, actually never won the title, just because of, when I took over the game. It was 2001 before he, had his undisputed title run. So he's been this Chris Jericho top guy, but never, top world championship guy, which I'm sure the internet would love at this point, especially after we had a long, Big Show reign multiple times and Brock Lesnar getting super pushed. I'm sure there's not people complaining on the internet about it at all. Regardless, he declared himself the King of Canada. Edge came out, was obviously upset about that. Edge, of course, has been very weirdly super strongly pushed by the game. I didn't do anything, and really he was up to a 90, which was interesting. He turned face back at last year's SummerSlam, as after a triple threat involving Angle, he turned face, had a feud with Angle. I forgot what I had him defeat somebody at WrestleMania. Oh, I had him defeat Angle, sort of in that feud at SummerSlam. He's been fighting, eventually got involved in a feud with Jericho. Jericho declared himself King of Canada. Edge demurred, and then it was basically, there we go. Nothing too fancy here, but a way to get two top guys in a match together. But before that, we get Alter Bridge coming out and playing Edge to Metalingus, because it was about around when the actual, he got given that theme song. And it's a good theme song, and I needed a band to appear, so there we go. And that gets to 74. I'm not going to show you guys because it's not really worth it. Before we go on to the actual match, which is freaking great, because it's Edge and Jericho. It doesn't get a 99 like it probably would if the AI booked it, but what can you do here? But it's a very solid, very good match between two guys who, honestly don't like each other much. And Jericho go back and forth. It's, I'm sure, go back and look at any Edge Jericho match from this time period, which I'm sure they had a ton. Just two guys, two great workers at the top of their game beating the crap out of each other. Edge is the face here, Jericho's the heel, but they're both don't really change their style that much as they're baby face and heel. And Edge looks like he's going to pinfall after a big spear, but Jericho barely gets his foot on the ropes. Jericho fights back with cheating. Eventually, Jericho removes the turnbuckle, hits him with a hot shot on that, cradles him up. 1, 2, 3, and gets the big heel win here at SummerSlam to defeat Edge. So yeah, honestly, I needed a top star to actually get a heel win on. Well, this level of heel win here. Edge could take it. They're both really over. 89 overall. Edge gets a 98. Jericho gets a 97. Bad commentary rolls. Match got the crowd buzzing. Let's see. Your only other bad thing was, poor announcing work of Taz and Cole, which is unfortunate. Hot crowd, color commentator, and no heat for the storyline, which isn't the end of the world. But here we go. And of course, post-match afterwards, Jericho over the top celebrates as the crowd boos, as, the announcers, make assurance maybe Jericho, after losing at WrestleMania, might be going after the world title once again. And then, after everybody's cleared and the announcers are talking about the next match, No Chance in Hell hits to a shock pop. Out comes Vince McMahon. Because remember, honestly, like, well, I mean, I don't know what the game has been doing, but in canon, like, McMahon hasn't been like a major character recently. I think I put him in a match a while ago. Oh, right, because in the feud with Triple H, obviously after that whole thing. But since then he hasn't been like really much. But he comes out and he says, "This business is all about competition, but not competition between other companies outside of WWF, but within the world wrestling. Within the, well, have they major changed it because it's WWE? We'll just say within WWE. So what I want is competition between Raw and SmackDown. But there's no way to do that when everybody is on both shows. I want to build two exciting, significant brands battling each other. That's why on Raw tomorrow night, there will be the first ever brand lottery. You see, this isn't about the people in charge of those shows choosing who's on the shows. It's about luck, determination, and the roll of the dice, determining who's on both shows. And then it's about fighting, clawing, and battling, and doing your best to have ruthless aggression to determine who wins. So yeah, there we go. Vince leaves, and yeah, we have the announcement of the brand lottery. Basically, I just wanted to see what the game would do if they didn't do a draft but did a lottery. I'll set up a brand. Basically, if you set up a brand split, but you don't put anybody under it, the game will do an automatic brand split, and we'll see how they shuffle out the various people. But yeah, gets an 81 because it's Vince, and it was only, I believe, I had him out there for, only out there for 4 minutes. And yeah, just basic quick promo, putting that over as we move forward here at SummerSlam. Then we have a recap video for our next big match, which is going to be the Gals of Bruja of Vampiro and Kane taking on Mick Foley and Justice, aka Abyss. Basically, this just puts over that Justice has been going after the Gals of Bruja for the last few months in a sort of mysterious way since he's debuted. Eventually, Mick Foley came out to help him and set up basically, a battle over violence. Foley, of course, has run with Kane, and I'm sure Mick Foley and Vampiro was some dream hardcore match in the early 2000s. And so, nothing fancy, just a bit, Justice going after two, our spooky heel group, and Mick Foley helping out. Nothing too fancy here as we move forward here at SummerSlam to the actual match. And yeah, this is just a wild, chaotic brawl, as you'd imagine. We got table shots, we get chair shots, we get thumbtacks involved because it's Foley and, Justice, aka Abyss. Kane chokeslams people, Vampiro's brawling. We don't get a fire spot because, honestly, 2005 WWF isn't doing fire spots. But everything outside of that, now, this is interesting, as it says Mick Foley was held back by the chaotic nature of the match. It's Mick fucking Foley. He would not be held back. But hey, whatever. Maybe he's old. But eventually, this is just, eventually, Vampiro takes a big, bump, into a stack of tables being taken out. Foley hits double arm DDT. Justice comes in, hits in a black hole slam, or whatever they're calling it, onto some thumbtacks on Kane. I was probably heavily padded up. And 1, 2, 3, your winner of the match is Mick Foley and Justice getting the win over Vampiro and Kane here at SummerSlam. So yeah, looking at the match itself, gets 76 overall. Kane gets a 70, Vampiro gets a 77, Justice gets a 56, Mick Foley gets a 77, Vampiro down on good camera pairing, and Justice benefited from a hot new move, which I'm guessing is a black hole slam. So this is basically was a fun little match to get Justice over, and we'll see what the game does with him afterwards after this win. As after all, post-match, and also I'm guessing we had a barbed wire baseball bat get involved, and afterwards Foley gives that barbed wire baseball bat to Justice, basically endorsing him as our crowd pops, and yeah, there we go. Foley didn't do great there, so that might be the last time I use him in ring, at least officially. But we'll see what the game does with him. But that gets 66, and we move forward here at SummerSlam. And then we get a recap video for the Kurt Angle JBL feud. So a while back in game, JBL was turned face by the game. I don't know. So, but that's sort of the problem. So basically, I set up because Angle's of course been Kurt Angle, and he talks about how he had kind of long promo about how he's the All-American, the only true American here in the WWF because he's a gold medal winner. And out comes JBL, basically say America's a lot more than gold medals. It's about brawling, crawling to the, rising to the top, making it your own way, not having a bunch of punks backing you up, and being ready for a fight at any time. And so, yeah, basically just, Angle sort of like, sort of the prissy, Olympic champion heel. JBL is a tough talking, no nonsense Texan. Also still has a suit and comes out in a limo with a bullhorn because it's America. And sort of setting that match up. And this is just because again, not every match WWE/WWF is going to be just for the most, stars from Dave Gold's Trouble. Sometimes you're going to be wacky storylines they think of, and they're going to do the match. And that's what I did here. So let's go on to the match and see how it goes. And pull that up. Anyway, not as bad as I thought, as, truly all-American here. Back and forth match. JBL gets to do his brawling, hit some big moves. Angle gets, of course, take him down, lock him in submissions. Hit, several big moves, several big suplexes. If JBL's ready to take the hits. JBL goes for the close on from hell, but Angle gets, ducks under it, locks him in sort of a Kimura lock to sort of break the arm. JBL powers out of it. Actually, Debra does come out and try to get involved, but in the end, that's sort of the end as she comes out. There's some botched interference. JBL takes advantage, hits the powerbomb, then hits a close on from hell on Kurt Angle, and gets a pinfall victory here at SummerSlam in a huge victory for Shawn Bradshaw Leyfield. So yeah, overall this gets an 82, Angle gets a 97 because he's Kurt fucking Angle in 2005, and JBL also gets 77, which isn't bad. And, JBL celebrate and he's leave, and then out comes the rest of the new improved Team Angle. And, Angle's sort of upset, points at Debra, Debra, sort of plays it off, and then, Billy Gunn takes the mic and says, Kurt, you've been obsessed with this thing, JBL, and for that you've been obsessed with Edge, and you aren't helping out the team, I've been inducting people in the Gun Club, and you haven't said one word about it for months. TNA, Test Albert just lost tag titles, and we're out there to help out. You've done nothing for us, Kurt, because you've involved in your own petty crap. Kurt Angle's like, this is Team Angle, not Team Gunn, not Team Test, not Team Albert, not Team Albert. And I remind you, I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I won that with a broken friggin' neck. And if you don't want to be part of Team Angle, you can leave. I can do this on my own. And then Billy, Debra takes Mike, says, well, Kurt, we determined we don't want to leave Team Angle. We want Kurt Angle out of the Gun Club. And then the beatdown is on. So yeah, then basically it's a beatdown. Albert hits him with the ground with a big boot. Albert hits the derailer. Gunn hits him with the gunslinger. Debra sort of slaps him as he's down. And it's a face turn. And there you go. So yeah, 78 here. And basically Team Angle, I'll remove Team Angle, Kurt Angle from Team Angle. And now it's the Gun Club with Billy Gunn in the lead. Honestly, Angle's just been a heel too long. He would have probably turned face in real life by now, once or twice. And there you go. Then I have something, well, it doesn't actually cool the crowd down, but Christian comes out for a very special peep show as he introduces each participant in the Beach Blanket Bingo, which is basically just going to be a fatal four-way where the women are wearing bikinis, because, again, 2005 WWF. And, basically, each competitor comes out, Cherry Slice comes down and wrestles in some sort of, quasi-50s bikini. Jillian Hall has, an even gown bikini, she's a singer. Veronica Vane just has a sexy bikini, and Jamie Keys just has a really small bikini because she's sort of the sexiest face here. And, Christian pops for each of them. Basically, this is the Jerry Lawler spot, except Jerry Lawler is on our show now. So, and we got a very good amount of Christian to get a job, and now then it's on to the actual Beach Blanket Bingo match. Like I said, this is a couple minute, 4 minute 4-way. Everybody basically gets a spot in so they can just look good and get a, horny pop, honestly. Again, it's 2005 WWF, what can you do? But eventually Jamie Keys gets the win over Jillian Hall. I don't know how, roll up, who knows? This only goes 4 minutes, and that's about it. It was right down to eye candy, because obviously only got a 37. Tracy got a 55, Jamie Keys got a 53, Jillian Hall got a 56, Veronica Vane got a 61. Pre-show, it got the pre-show hit, but it did match did its job and give a crowd a breather. So then, as Jamie Keys is celebrating, I'll just put it over as having a very successful first year in WWF, winning the Beach Blanket Bingo, becoming WWF Women's Champion when Molly Holly comes out. Of course, Molly Holly is sort of the most over woman on the roster left over. She did not have a match here. But, she comes out and she raises Jamie's arm. And then you can see what happens here. Kick to the gut. Molly go around, sort of like spits on Jamie Keys and walks away. And, we'll have a, hopefully she'll have a promo on Raw tomorrow, which I won't be booking, to change her heel. And now she's the anti-diva, which gets initial rating of great. Terms complete success. This is a 73, and there we go. So even with our breather, we still could do something as an angle. Moving forward, before next, we have Randy Orton coming out. Then we get the Undertaker entrance, doing Undertaker stuff. It's a long entrance. There's some graves. It's SummerSlam. What can you do? And then, basically, this match is just the match. They had a real-life match here at SummerSlam last year, and it's basically just that match, including interference from a mysterious masked man who comes out, hits Nails Taker, allowing Orton to hit the RKO and get the huge win over The Undertaker here at SummerSlam in a little under 60 minutes. But, this is literally just the actual match from SummerSlam, including the interference from the mysterious man, who is all dressed up like some hobo or something. I don't know. But the actual match itself gets an 81. Nothing too fancy here. Taker gets a 90. Orton gets an 83. This is basically because of, I think, low momentum from Orton, which honestly is part of my fault. Because basically what happened was I sort of had it. So Orton would stay with the WWF, even though he signed with Noah as his contract over. Again, I'm fine, making things realistic for the game. So I, made him, I basically extended his contract with the WWF forever, or for a long time. But I forgot that, since he signed the contract with Noah, in-game, he would be seen as leaving. So he would be booked badly by the game. Because as far as the game is concerned, he's leaving when his contract is over, which is sort of silly, but also, what can you do? So I might have to, readjust that or do something so he's not, basically jobbed out. If you might know if every so often he does a very weird job to a lower Carter, because that knows the game, even though he's under contract for another couple years, it doesn't know that he's actually under contract for that. They just know he's leaving. But yeah, anyway, poor momentum. Everything else is good. I guess the other thing is I think probably low storyline, even though it's not mentioned here. But yeah, of course, then the Hobo reveals himself to be Bob Orton Jr. Again, this is literally what happened in real life. Gets a 68. So you know, this is not actually Bob Orton Jr. It's Sergeant Slaughter. I forgot to sign up old Bob Orton. So I just basically renamed Sergeant Slaughter, give him a new picture. I'll change it back after the show. But yeah, then I believe we're up next is the big match of the show. So yeah, our main event for tonight is of course Triple H versus Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship. Now, some of you may be wondering, wait, I thought Triple H cheated on Stephanie, is now hated by everybody, and this is true. But also, he's still Triple H, so he's still really over. He probably got over more of it. He got more of it as a result of that. So even though, and honestly, even though I've been, booking him to lose most of the time, the game hasn't really, which is weird, because you would think with a hatred relationship with the booker, he'd be booked badly, but hey, what can you do? But basically, this is, sort of, being booked as Triple H's last stand, because what happened here is Shawn Michaels, of course, won at Mania. He won as a babyface. Valiant, Shawn Michaels coming back, and finally winning the World Championship, WWF Heavyweight Championship once again. But his first title match defense was at Backlash against Brock Lesnar, the newly turned babyface Brock Lesnar. And, basically, the angle here was that everybody was telling Shawn he had no shot, he was about to be killed. And Shawn became paranoid, and then, shockingly, at the pay-per-view, Just Incredible and X-Pac, aka X-Factor, came out and actually helped Michaels get the win. And then, over the next couple weeks after Backlash, we then had CM Punk and Skyfall came along, get brought in, and HBK basically turned full heel and introduced DX 2.0. And then he's, been winning. He beat Brock again. He beat He beat Brock and Angle in a triple threat with help. He beat, I believe, oh god, I forgot who else the game had him defeat. I'll go over that after the show. But basically, like, it's been like full asshole Shawn Michaels that feud with Hogan. Only it's been like actual like top heel Shawn Michaels with a new DX, and eventually Triple H, who's like was doing his own stuff, eventually like sort of like confronted Shawn, saying, DX is over, man. We need to move into the future, not be stuck in the past. Michael got upset about that, got beat down. So basically, we had like sort of like Triple H eventually come back, challenge Shawn for one more time, a battle for DX. And even like he's still Triple H, he's still an asshole, but he's going after Shawn Michaels acting like an asshole, so now he's the babyface. And that's basically where we are. So then we get a big Triple H entrance, full, coming out, skulls, rock, whatever, Ace of Spades with Motorhead. And then what I sort of see happening is sort of like we get a choral arrangement of the DX theme song, sort of like maybe sung by a choir. I know that's something where like modern WWE would do with like all their money, but they could probably do something like that. Maybe like a minor choir. And out comes Shawn Michaels as the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Because like this is a DX that's not like, this isn't like poop joke DX or obsession with sexiness DX. This is actual heel group DX. And Shawn Michaels comes out and they face off. The crowd pops. And here we go as this gets to 95 for our main event, which is either going to pop like a 95, 96 or like an 83. And these two men, of course, go out and they destroy themselves. Like this is, it's Shawn Michaels and Triple H 2005, which they didn't have always fantastic matches, but in the right situation, these are two men who go out and have a hell of a match here. And that's what happens here as they just go like, the only for is hasn't been cold, not great on the, I don't think that's what can you do. But yeah, this is just like super, like, super worker babyface. Shawn, this is, post comeback Shawn Michaels, and they like this is a brawl, this is a fight. There's a sledgehammer, there's a table bump. Shawn Michaels hits the drop off the announcer tables through Triple H, but Triple H fights back. Shawn hits Sweet Chin Music about 13-14 minutes in, but Triple H kicks out. Triple H hits the pedigree, but Triple H gets his foot on the rope, and Shawn gets his foot on the ropes. Eventually there's a rough bump, and CM Punk and Skyfall caught him in. Triple H fights him, but eventually it's round one. And CM Punk hits his GTS. Skyfall hits a big splash. And looks like Shawn Michaels is going to win, but 1, 2. Near fall, Triple H kicks out at 2.99. Oh my god. But Triple H goes for the pedigree. Shawn Michaels hits him low. Actually nails him with the title belt. The ref is back up. He tunes with the band. Sweet Chin Music. Bam. 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still WWF World Heavyweight Champion, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. So they get to 93. So this obviously would have been 100 with the AI. But yeah, Taz week, Cole week, hot move from Triple H. Maybe he does even a deathlock. And let's see here. Anything else that was bad? Oh, both guys have low morale, which is weird because it's Shawn. Like, you've just been booked as a top heel. I don't know. But yeah, good stuff. So 93 overall. Oh, okay, I know why they have low morale. So X-Pac showed up, whacked down on drugs, so I sent them to rehab. They weren't happy about this, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, it's a 93. But what happens post-match is because you know how I mentioned that there's some gravestones and graveyard set up for Triple H, for Undertaker's entrance. What happens here is, of course, Triple H slowly gets up, and then Shawn Michaels nails him with another super kick, and then just incredible kicks comes out. That's a 4-on-1 attack, and they drag Triple H to the sort of top of the ramp, and they pick him up, and he's set up at the edge of the ramp. Shawn Michaels says, if I'm being funnier, sorry, I love you. Sweet Chin Music off the stage into the graveyard. There's a big crash, and Triple H has been officially buried here at SummerSlam. So yeah, this gets 100, and overall the show itself gets a 98. Okay, this was because of the extra stuff I give it. So honestly, let's see here. What was better than I thought it was going to be? Honestly, Amber James, you did well. Honestly, Triple H, despite doing the job, did well. Well, no, Vince McMahon would never do this. So Shawn, buddy, you did a great job. You know, Kurt Angle did a job without complaining much. So there we go. So this is going to take a second to move over, so I'll come back with the post-show stuff in a moment. So there we go. That was SummerSlam. Let me see here. So just to do a couple of changes here. So we'll just actually change this to the Gunn Club. Leader, there we go. Let's see here, DX 2.0. Let's see here. Oh, right, that's the other thing is, again, and the other thing I'm going to do here is also a couple notes on people being brought up out of game. So we got Chuck E.T., which is Chuck Taylor, and Robbie C, aka Rob Conway. They're coming up as sort of just basically, I'm basically thinking like Night at the Roxbury type of tag team. Again, that's a couple years old, but there's WWF. That's what Vince would do. I also are bringing up ECMO and Chemo as the Samoan Gangster Party as baby faces. We'll see how they do. And then Joey Matthews, who's been basically at top of OVW for a long time, as you know if you've been watching what I do. So there we go. And I think that's... Oh, and of course, L'Angel Obscura. But the other thing I'm going to do here is Leviathan. Basically, Batista. And we're also going to change his picture. I said we're going to change his picture. There we go. Batista. There we go. And then we're just, because, like, this is a legendary gimmick, so we're not, but we're just saying Badass Powerhouse, which was his actual, like, you know, there we go. Let's see here. I think that's it as far as what I need to do backstage. Just as a little note, just to go over what the game thinks. Creative, Michaels, Lesnar, Jericho, Triple H, Angle. So there you go. The next big thing for them is Orton, Vane, Punk, Molly Holly, and Christian York. Hot prospects is Orton, Cade, Vane, Punk, and Spanky. Who's hot is Michaels, Taker, Lesnar, Angle, Benoit. Who's not, Orton, and Christian. And let's see here. Storylines, yeah, I mean, obviously the game will change all these. Ironically, King of Canada got hot when we actually had the match, but everything else is there. So then go over the titles real quick. Oh yeah, teams. So Club Crew is the new team. Then we also have the Samoan Gangster Party. And this is like Light on Punk, Street Suburbs, who again were created by the game. Like, yeah, there's, see that long, like nearly 7-month title reign. TNA, X Factor are around, even though they probably won't be after X Pac comes back. But yeah, title holders, of course. So, European champion who did not defend it is Skyfall came on. He won it back at May. He has had 2 defenses. Your new women's champion is Jackie Gayda. Yeah, Amber James won the title back at King of the Ring. And there you go. Your World Tag Team Champions are Carl and Spanky. And yeah, we'll see if Tess and Albert just won the titles back in September. Then, let's see here. Our Intercontinental Champion is Billy Gunn. Again, he's held the title since May. Yeah, so let's see. Billy Gunn, Christian fought about Billy Gunn. JBL fought about JBL. Val Venis was also involved. So yeah, just a very interesting, wacky sort of like title here. And of course, your World Heavyweight Champion is Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn versus Brock. Oh, right. Versus Taker is when he, he basically turned officially heel with help from the rest of DX. Benoit I Quit match. Putting Michaels over Benoit Foley. Then we had a Lesnar Angle match where they basically fought each other. And then we had this title match. We'll see how long they have them keep the title. And then we're going to do this. We're going to do a brand split. We're going to create a brand split. So brand 1 is going to be, from default, right. brand 1 is Raw. And then, let's see here. Yeah. That's going to be Jim Ross. Oops, that's going to be Jim Ross and Jim Cornette. And then brand 2 is going to be SmackDown. And then that is going to be Michael Cole and not Taylor Matheny. That's going to be Taz. And then what we'll also do is, of course, we'll go to events and TV. Raw is going to be just Raw, obviously. And SmackDown is going to be just SmackDown, obviously. And for the moment, I'm going to leave the, what's we're looking for? I'm going to leave, like, I'm going to have them as unbranded shows. And we'll just see, like, what the game does with that. Maybe I'll do branded shows for the new year. But yeah, there you go. So what happened here is once I leave the game as Vince, is they'll do basically a total swap around with that. Okay, so Shawn, you have morale issues. Honestly, you're a Christian. You should be okay with expect going to. I'm okay with Triple H being upset. Everybody else, I'm okay with being upset. Just because like they either weren't on the shows or they did a job. Yeah, okay. And we're also just going to fix Bob Orton Jr. Hey, Bob, I know. You're actually back to being Sergeant Slaughter. There you go. And just like as a little check here, so I'm just wondering, major stars. Okay, so Brock. Yeah, Brock's still Brock. Like he lost a little, I guess. I think just being in not a great match, or maybe he did a job. I don't know why he lost that much popularity. Jericho, like again, he was at a 93. He's still at a 93. Edge was at a 95, was at a 93. He lost a point for doing the job there. Angle, let's see here. Angle's at a, I think Angle, yeah, Angle's still at a 92. He stayed at a 92. Michaels is like super over. Like he's like, this is like top tier Michaels. Did Taker lose a lot from doing the job to Orton? No, he actually gained a point because he's Taker. Triple H. He only lost a point there. All right. Star-wise, okay, so Molly Holly, I think actually, like, gained a couple points. Yeah, no, not really. Otherwise, William Regal is our other, like, actual... Wait, is this a situation where... Hold on. That seems weird that they're the only... Sure, major stars. Okay, yep, all those guys. Okay, so that's sort of the issue here is, like, there's, like, no mid-card. That's what I thought, but, okay. Regal, after getting the win, is about the same. It's kind of interesting, like, yeah, it's basically all top guys, like, one mid-carder, and then all these guys. Batista is interesting, like, he's up another couple points, despite, like, it's interesting that even though, like, Lesnar won, he still got more over. Gunn, I think 70 hit his pop cap. Let's see here, JBL. JBL should be, like, on the edge of being a top guy. We'll see if the game books him well, as he gained a couple points. Orton, okay, so Orton is, like, super over, but he's considered a star just because he has crap momentum. Like, he has almost a 90, but he's still only considered a star in-game. Well, no, because he has crap momentum. Steiner, I don't care about. Vampiro, did Vampiro get hurt? I mean, Vampiro has been, like, weirdly booked by the game. I mean, he lost 5 points here. 82 might be his pop cap. I think I got him more over than that, I think. Anyway. Recognizable, let's see here. Carnage of All, let's see here. How did winning the tag titles help you out, buddy? Okay, big win, like a 10-point bump here. Did Albert lose a lot by jobbing you, though, like they didn't actually job? Let's see here. No, they actually gained, okay. How about Punk? Did you lose a lot by being the guy? No, okay, still up a couple points. I guess because you were part of the main event angle. Justice, how many points did you gain by getting the big win here? Okay, big one. Okay, so he hopefully should be pushed a little better by the game. And he has very well momentum. Let's see. Anybody unimportant? Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, Charlie Haas is coming in as basically Charlie Haas. And Steve Bradley is coming in as sort of like a dude. But yeah, I think that's about it here. And L'Angel Obscura is coming in as a Dark Angel. There you go. We'll see how the game does here. So yeah, enjoy this. Go and give it a like. Comment below what you're enjoying and not enjoying. And subscribe to the channel for plenty of TEW 2020 content, including my W 2005 save. Should be able to get back to Ring of Honor, some Journey of Wrestling, Basketball GM hopefully this weekend. And who knows what else might pop up. That's it for now. Talk to you later. And adios. Have a good one.